where do you see yourself, I guess, politically, like in the world right now? Do you feel like you're a bit of everyone, but you've got an opinion on this that might lean towards one side, or are you strongly for just one side only, and does that play into your comedy or anything like that?
I think controversially, I don't sit strongly. I know, like,
anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the world is such a heinous, horrible place that sometimes getting swept up in it, like, what is my one opinion truly going to do?
Yeah.
Obviously, I am, like, even with the gay marriage poll, like, obviously I'm going to vote because that's right. That's the right thing to do. But I don't like to sit in it. I think it's yuck. It makes me feel like, I mean.
Do you, when you hear people say that it's okay to vote no, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's not.
It's not?
It shouldn't be. Like, I just feel like it's like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like in today's day and age, like, we're all human.
Yeah.
And I think it's ludicrous that, like, basic human rights aren't allowed purely because of someone's sexual orientation. I think that's ludicrous.
Do you feel like when people come, because this is where I'm at. I'm for it. I don't have a dog in the fight. Like, just be happy. I want people to be happy, and if that's what will make people happy, then fine. But I've also become of the opinion that I'm like, well, some people have a belief system that is backed up by a book that we can't prove is who it's really written by or anything like that. But there's sections of society that people staunchly believe in these this certain belief system, and obviously there's this weird thing that goes on between you can't really talk about Muslims or anything going on over there, and there's this sort of consensus amongst, I suppose, mainstream media, I guess, that refugees and Muslims coming into the country, that's fine. And I was always like, yeah, that's totally, I've not got an issue with it. But there's some real, they kill gay people. The stuff that's going on over there is insane. And I heard someone telling me once about, feminism that the West talks about is so much different to what's going on in Africa and all these other countries where there's people literally in Afghanistan trading young girls as currency. Do you think that we should be maybe focusing on the whole issue as one, or do you feel like maybe we're a little bit egotistical or selfish to just be focusing on it in our little bubble? Are we trying to fix the world, or are we trying to just help ourselves out?
Well, I mean, how troublesome has this vote in and of itself been? So as a nation, we don't even have a collective opinion that is one.
Yeah.
So how would we be able to move forward out into what would we be able to do to, most of the population isn't even aware of all of this stuff happening overseas. And then without even knowing what's going on overseas, and then also having this huge divide in our own country, I feel like it would be really almost impossible to then try and do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm
I feel like you have to, you have to take it chunk by chunk, surely.
Yeah.
It's like world poverty, how it's such a big thing that you have to start somewhere. So being able to donate to charities and, Oxfam and all of that, obviously every little bit helps. So I feel like we need this to then get enough awareness about everything else happening.
Some forward. Yeah.
That's
okay.
Right, yeah.
All right. But let's say you're someone that can, you're extremely Catholic or whatever, because I've met people like this where they're like, look, I am, I voted no. My family voted no. We don't mind that there's gay people. We don't. But I met this guy. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because this really threw me, because I didn't know these people still existed, but they do. And after knowing that they do exist, I have to somewhat in myself take my own personal opinion aside and respect them still to have their own opinion, right? I might not agree with it. I might think it's totally morally wrong, but at the same time, they are entitled in some sense to say what they believe. Like if it was the foot, if I was on the other end of the foot, like that's inequality as well in itself, to not be able to have
an opinion
on something, whether that be right or wrong. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't say anywhere whether it's right or wrong. There's some literature that says it's wrong. We think it's right, but there's no like universal thing that says this is what's right and this is what's wrong. Who decides at the end of the day whether we're the right ones or we're the wrong ones?
I mean,
I don't know where I'm going with that question,
it
just feels like it's so much more complex than.
But I mean, that's why the Bible was invented or written by God, whatever, however you want to look at it, obviously to try and make a universal law. But now there are...
It was a control system though.
Yeah, but now there are like the judicial system is also the same. Like it's just a set of rules, exactly. Yeah. But there are so many different sets of rules.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, there isn't.
So what, that's why that's why I sit on the fence with going, look, vote for what you personally believe in, because we all are connected to a certain type of belief system. And I hope that mine, prevails.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I just feel like it does a real disservice to demonize people because their belief system might be slightly different to mine, because that's the exact same ideology that someone like Pauline Hanson has.
I think that the way that I live my life and the way that I think is like the most just way to live life is obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah.
That is a basic human right. You should be able to have your own opinion. I am happy to have my own opinion and for you to have your own opinion as well, as long as your opinion doesn't affect my life and my happiness.
Yeah.
And I think that saying no affects a lot of people's happiness.
Yeah.
Whereas saying yes affects... You know what I mean?
Yes.
So if my belief and your belief differ, but your belief then like impedes my life in some way, or then I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
I think everyone,
So that's where you draw a line.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like I'm happy to be opinionated about whatever I believe in, and for you too as well, as long as our beliefs don't.
But what if they use that same argument against you and say, well, yeah, voting yes actually does impede on my belief system.
But it doesn't affect your life. It doesn't affect
They could argue that it doesn't. I mean, I don't think it does, but they could argue, I mean, they do. They argue that it affects their life. I mean, this is what I saw that was extremely fascinating the other day on the Gold Coast. We were in Marrickville in Sydney last week shooting some podcasts, and there was vote yes everywhere, and I was like, wow, we don't see this on the Gold Coast. There was a big billboard just near my house that had, like, it was a TV type billboard that had vote no for freedom of speech. And I'm like, don't bring freedom of fucking speech into this. Like, I'm for freedom of speech. If you want to say something racist, then you're a fucking idiot, but say it so I can weed you fuckers out, all right? And then I can call you a fucking asshole for doing it. We have to have freedom of speech. You can't be policing people on what they say, because that just ideology in itself can lead to so many more problems, all right? But after that, the next thing that popped up was the advertising brand that owned the billboard had vote yes on the billboard thing straight after it.
So you allowed someone to pay you?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know.
Money talks. That's fucked.
It is. And I feel like, if it does get through, I feel like you'll still see 6, 7, 8 months of it still not being a thing. And I've spoke to, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think it would have been more beneficial for Australia to just wait for another government to come in to just sign it into law? Do you think it would be better to just wait another year or two and then go, all right, this, instead of going through this whole process of...
I think it's hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of unnecessary, and there still is a lot of ongoing unnecessary, like, unsettlement and hurt that was totally unnecessary. So... had there been a way to avoid that, I think it would have been better. Sure.
Yep. If you could just, this is the last one on the gay marriage topic, but it's a really good one to have, because everyone's a conversation to have, because everyone's opinion on it is so polarizing. And me hosting this, I've got to make sure that I can cover everyone's thought system on it.
Yeah.
Because some people are very, like, very left or right on the whole thing.
It's so funny that I started this by being like, I have no strong opinions. And then I'm like, here's a strong opinion.
No, I like it. That's what you need to have.
Yeah.
If you were to take a bet, where would you say it would swing? You know, like percentage-wise, would it be like 90% yes, 10% no, or other way? Like where would you put money on, just as a trivial?
Probably like unfortunately, probably like 70-30.
Yeah, I feel more 60-40.
Okay.
And I don't know which way that would swing either. I think
Damn.
I feel like I've already like imagined it. We're going to wake up one morning and your news feed is just going to be either one way or another. But I personally think I can see it of, you know, people typing, oh my God, didn't know this, can't believe this country is so much more homophobic than what I see that's where this is going. I feel like this is done.
But what a horrible, like, so unnecessary. Now you have a huge population of our country feeling like the majority of people around them don't want them to have equal rights. I think that's actually insane. That's insane. It's like you saying to me, oh, you're not allowed to walk down this specific street anymore just because I don't think you should.
Yeah, because the thing, Jesus, that thing.
Because
because my book said no.
Yeah, I think it's ludicrous. It doesn't, anyway.